And guess what? You guys were the ones who raised the millennials. You raised us to be this way.
It's on you. It's not on us.
Like, what more do you want? Oh, the millennials, they're so coddled. They need to feel special. They need to let everybody know how special they are. They need to be told how special they are.
Everybody gets a ribbon.
Where did we get that from? Think it just came out of our own asses? No, we learned it from you.
Yeah, motherfucker. We're gonna take it up a few notches right now. See if y'all can keep up.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 12 of the ScruffCast. I'm Dan.
And I'm John.
So, John, last week, we did not release an episode.
There was no ScruffCast.
The first time in the ScruffCast history we missed a week, and it was on it should have been week 12. That's not a good start for us. Only
That
12
isn't.
in, and we already missed one.
We could barely make it to a dozen. This would be the baker's dozen if we had followed through. But fear not, we're back this week with an episode that's going to be 2 times as good
We hope.
as last week's would
Not
have
100% sure, but we hope so.
been. Well, if you got complaints, you know how to reach us.
You sure do.
ScruffCast@gmail.com, at ScruffCast on Twitter. Now, Dan,
Well, do you want to tell them why we didn't do the ScruffCast last week? We got to come up with a legitimate excuse.
We were very busy. You know, on this podcast, we tackle the tough topics. And you may have seen recently that Donald Trump has agreed to meet with Kim Jong-un in North Korea. And now you know who to thank.
Who?
Who
do you think set that all up?
We were on a political expedition. And that's why we couldn't even tell you why. Because most people don't go to North Korea and come back. We did. And now we're back, and we're ready for another
We were
episode.
escorted by Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman, yeah.
Yeah, he brought us there. So
All right.
that was the reason.
And we can't go into any more details than that.
That's
or
it.
We're going to risk getting in trouble. So, Dan,
Yes,
I believe you got a story to start us off.
I got a great story, and
And
I'm
I'm-
excited to tell you because I haven't even told you this story.
And I'm eager to hear it.
Okay, as you all may remember, I tried to buy tickets for Justin Timberlake concert. This was like episode 7, 8 maybe. This is a while ago now. Tried to buy these tickets. So, I decided back then, after I tried twice unsuccessfully to get the tickets on Ticketmaster because they sold out instantly. At the time, I checked StubHub to see what the ticket prices were like then. So tickets like in the 300 bowl, like the higher levels, at that point were like $250, $300 American
Outrageous.
per seat. So I was like, okay, well, forget that. So at the time, I kind of thought to myself, you know what? When the time comes, like the week before, I'll go on there and I'll check, see what the prices are like. Maybe people are trying to get rid of tickets. Maybe I can get one for $150 instead of $300. So on Friday, just last Friday, I remember the concert is this week coming up. It's when you guys are listening to this, it'll be today, Tuesday. And so I said, I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna check, see what the price of tickets are. So I go on, I check the Toronto show. I was able to get 2 tickets for the show, and can you guess how much I paid, John?
Did you get him at face value?
Even lower, I think.
Even lower than face value.
$28.99 American per ticket.
That is insane.
Like, this is they're calling this the greatest comeback story of the year.
The greatest redemption story ever told.
Like, this is a big deal. Like, suck it, StubHub, suck it, Ticketmaster. Like, you don't understand how good I felt purchasing those tickets. Like, it was just like, the man's trying to get me down, and I fought back, And I got the tickets for, I'm pretty sure it's under face value, because it worked out to about $50 Canadian with, like, the service charges and stuff, which, again, we're not going to get into, besides the point. $50 Canadian per ticket. And so, like, I'm thinking those tickets are probably, like, $80. That's usually, like, $300.
It definitely sounds like it would have been more than $50 per ticket.
So, good news. I got 2 tickets of Justin Timberlake. So take that, Ticketmaster. Take that, StubHub. And take that to the bots. Or the
scalpers.
The scalpers buying up all these goddamn tickets.
They're trying to
'Cause they got screwed
Trying
in
to
the
take us down. The everyday man. Trying to take us down. We persevere.
Yeah.
And we get those tickets.
It felt great. So, did it live up to the hype, John? Me hyping that story up for the past, 4 days?
I believe it exceeded all of the hype.
Good.
Dan.
Come
And
on,
I'm sure,
that's
I'm
pretty
sure our
good,
listeners,
I'm
the ones who have stuck with us from back when we first talked about the shady underworld of Ticketmaster bots are relieved to hear you persevered.
Yeah, if you guys want to send me congratulatory emails, you can do that at scruffcast@gmail.com. You can say, like, way to go, Dan, you go, girl. You can do all those things. Send them this way.
Yeah,
You might even reply.
a little bit of positive, emails or messages to us. Maybe cheer us up. Maybe the podcast would be 3 times as good instead of twice as good. Who knows?
Like, I can't even get over this. I gotta, like, go on another rant about this game. Because it feels so good. Like, so good. I got him in front of... I almost bought him at that point for, like, $250, $300 American per ticket. And I'm so goddamn happy I didn't. I'm happy I didn't even get him on Ticketmaster now. You know?
Suck it,
it
Ticketmaster.
finally worked out. God
It
damn.
did. It did. Instead of just getting screwed.
Now, this is provided that the tickets are real.
Yeah, that's true. You could come back next week and we could have a interesting follow-up story.
I'll tell
Maybe
you
for
what,
good podcast
if they're
material.
fake, I'm not doing next week's episode. You're on your own, John.
That's all right.
I'll still be sulking.
All right. Well, I think that's enough of delving into old topics. Now,
Moving
Dan,
right along.
I got a question for you. A hypothetical scenario, if you will. Imagine you're at a baseball game, right? And a fly ball comes your way in the crowd. You catch the ball, right? Oh, it's exciting. You get to catch a baseball. Or like, let's say even at a hockey game, you catch like a hockey puck, even more rare. And, everybody's cheering. But there's somebody else in the section, they've got young kids. Mm-hmm. And, what do? You give the ball to the kid, right? Everybody, is like, oh, come on, give it to the kid. The kid comes over, walks down to the end of the row, and, stands there like, oh, can I have the ball? Mm-hmm. Do you give him the ball? What do you do?
How far away is this kid sitting?
That is a vital... That's
It's
a
important.
crucial detail, because I feel like there's probably a buffer zone. If they're, like, beside you, yeah, okay. If you're like, stiff-arming the kid out of the way, like, back up, kid, grabbing the ball, I could see that. I would say... There's got to be a limit on how far the kid could be. Let's say on the same row, but like well on the other side, at least 9 seats or more.
Oh,
away.
absolutely not. That kid's not getting that ball.
No.
100%. They have to be within an arm's reach.
As if like the only reason you got the ball from them is because you're an adult, you're taller.
Exactly, yeah.
Stop the kid.
It's like the reason I got it's because I'm taller and I was able to reach out and grab it. Then I'll give them the ball for sure. Because at the end of the day, like, it's really cool to get a foul ball, but like, I like thinking like as a kid, like, oh, I would die. I would bring my baseball glove to the stadium, you know what I mean? And like just like I wanted to get a ball so bad. And now, like if I catch one, oh cool. But like I don't really care anymore about getting one, right? So I know
It's
that
not
kid's
making
gonna
your day.
care. That kid's gonna care a lot more about that ball. But if this kid comes from 12 rows up down the aisle and sticks his hand out, he can take his hand, shove it right back up his ass, and get back up to his seat because he's not getting the ball.
No bueno.
No bueno. This may have been our first bueno or no bueno.
It may have been.
Or
because,
second, I guess,
You know
because
what?
the guy who created it gave us the first.
I'm going to say, listeners, you really let us down. We said, email us, tell us your topics for bueno or no bueno.
We got nothing.
New segment. We got nothing, so instead, what are we doing? We're bringing the topics to you. We're doing all the work. You literally have to do nothing. You think of an idea, just email it to us. We'll give you our opinion, because they're obviously so highly valued, you're sitting around listening to us. That's besides the point. I would almost say, unless the kid is sitting like directly next to you and you shove him out of the way, they don't deserve the ball at all.
Yeah, like
Why do they get to have the ball? You did the hard work to catch it. Just because they're a kid? How do they know you don't have like a younger brother or a kid of your own, who couldn't come to the game?
that's true too. Yeah.
Right? Because I don't see the problem is that like, the little kid is like, oh, I wanted the ball. I mean, come on, what kid doesn't?
Yeah.
But like, then the other people in the section like booing, like, boo, give it
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
kid.
you
Because
get,
I've
like,
heard
harassed.
stories of this online. Yeah.
Yeah.
People like getting kicked out of the games and stuff because they're just getting booed like relentlessly.
Ridiculous. Yeah,
Really
like
ridiculous.
that is a good point. I didn't think about that. Like, yeah, let's say you have a kid at home or whatever, right? Oh, if that was the case, like, no, sorry, like nobody's getting this ball, and that's that, right?
Yeah, why do they like?
Or you're on a date.
Yeah, you got to give it to the honey. You got to impress her. Come on.
Yeah, like, yeah,
Right?
If
And,
you're on a date or something, oh, no way.
All right, I've already got a line for you listeners. If you go
Or-
on a date to a baseball game, you catch a foul ball. You turn over your date and say, "A catch for my catch." Boom! After you guys get married, write to us and tell us about the success story.
Yeah, but what if she turns around like, oh, you're a jerk, why didn't you give it to that kid? Like, and then you look like an ass.
Then you say, a catch for my catch. Here you go, little kid. And then maybe she goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. I wanted the ball. And then you're like, what can I do?
I think an arm's reach in a certain scenario, like where you don't have a kid or you're just there with your buddies, I think an arm's length from your group is acceptable. But yeah, like you were saying earlier that like there was like a kid who came down a couple rows, stuck his hand out at the end of the aisle,
Yeah, right.
trying to get a ball. No,
Yeah,
screw
like,
that
well,
kid.
you just deserve it just because you're the kid. And the mom's probably like, oh, Susie, go down there and get the ball.
Yeah, that's the thing. What are those parents doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are you thinking? Like, your kid's gonna get the ball? No, sit back there in your seat. You don't get that. That's not yours. You didn't catch it. You weren't even close.
Yeah, teaching
If
the
that
kids
guy
not
wants
to
to
work.
come up to you and give you the ball, then you say, "Oh wow, thank you very much, sir," or "Ma'am." It could be a woman catching the ball.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. We're all about gender equality.
We are all about it. Not really. No, I'm kidding. Now I lost where I was. Yeah. Like, what are those? Like, what are the parents doing? Like, you know what I mean?
They're
If
raising
my kid
little,
gets up, I
little
want to get that
entitled
ball.
douchebags.
Guess what? Like, you're not getting it.
Yep. That's all I can say.
You want a ball? Grow a little taller. You know, work a little harder.
Yeah. Jump. You're lighter than an adult.
Yeah.
Climb up their back. No holds barred. It's like Mad Max out there trying to catch these baseballs. But what actually made me think about the topic was I recently went back to our favorite city, Dan, Buffalo.
Ooh.
The city we've talked about before on this podcast, episode 3. Buffalo Bills fans are crazy. Anyways, I went to a Buffalo Sabres game.
I thought you smelled a little stinkier when you came back.
It's the Buffalo effect, I guess. If we have
Hair
any
looked a
listeners-
little greasier.
If we have any listeners in Buffalo, please contact us. Let us know. Anyways,
You had chip crumbs in your beard. And you didn't even eat chips. It was probably from just the wild buffaloers around there.
just sitting around in Buffalo.
Munching chips.
So, in the midst of all the chips flying around, I went to the Buffalo Sabres game, and as a little promotional thing they did during one of the TV timeouts was they had coffee cups from Tim Hortons, coffee chain, really huge in Canada and in parts of the United States, including Buffalo. They have a promotion that they do, like roll up the rim, or basically after you finish your coffee, you roll the rim up, and then printed inside where the rim is, it will tell you like that you won like a free coffee, a free donut, or like no win, please try again. So they had
That's the most common one.
that's definitely the most common one. So they had empty coffee cups, unused obviously, falling down from the top of the inside of the arena with little parachutes. Right? Like just raining down, people catch them, and then you roll up the rim, see if you win anything. And like I think the top prize on these things are like, SUVs and stuff like that, $25,000 and huge prizes. So I look up and a cup was flying down to me in a little parachute, and I reached my hand out, and it was above the kids who were in a row ahead of me, right? Because I'm much taller than them. And I grabbed the cup, right? And I roll it up. I want a free latte. Now, first off, come on, these kids are like 5. They don't want a latte. And they're not taking this free latte, and giving it to their parents because their parents should have got up and caught the cup. But anyways, I nabbed it from them, got myself a free latte. It was okay.
That could create chaos. Can you imagine like a guy? Because you can also win a car. You can win $5,000 CIBC gift cards. Can you imagine some you snatch that kind of like away from somebody, close to it or whatever. You roll it up. You're like, oh my god, I won $5,000. First off, you're an idiot for saying that. But imagine you did, right? And then, hey buddy, that's my cup. I was gonna catch that. You grab that out of my hand. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
All of a sudden,
Buffalo
a
fans.
fight breaks out.
They go
and this
ham.
is Buffalo.
Yeah, you're gonna catch these hands.
Like, they'd fight you over a donut. They're wild over there.
It's like another universe over there. The Buffalo effect. That's why they have all that snow, like the lake effect. It's like the Buffalo effect.
Yeah, they're
It's like the
between two
Bermuda,
lakes, so
the
they just get
Bermuda
crushed with
Triangle
snow.
almost. You go in there, you're in a different reality.
You're lucky to come back out.
They're lucky to come back out
Yeah.
with your life, let alone a free latte.
Yeah, you made out well. Very
Anyways,
well.
Because I smartly didn't go, I want a free latte. I was just thinking, like, these
Kept it
kids don't
quiet.
want
Oh,
that
please
latte.
play again. Oh, jeez.
Oh, what are the odds of that? Anyway, so it was raining coffee cups. I want a free latte. Nabbed the cup away from these kids. Made me think of the story I read online about, some little entitled douche running into the end of the row. Be like, oh, that's my baseball.
And the people booed that guy.
And then people booed that guy.
Well, those people are stupid. Like, the people that booed that guy.
Give me a break. You booing me? Boo yourself.
Yeah, you tell him, John. But, like, see the situation. Be like, hey, that kid just came down 12 rows. He's trying to get that ball. No way. Get out of here.
Where's the limit? Like, you catch it in the first inning, and you see the kid on the other side of the row. I'm a-coming. And then 7th inning stretch, they get over there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. By the time the kid gets there, I've already left. I'm getting ahead of the crowds in the underground parking.
Like, what do you got to do? You got to turn around and be like, all right, who wants it? Play like jackpot. Remember when you're a kid, you play jackpot, you throw the ball up in the air and everybody's got to try to catch it. 5,000 points. You just launch the ball up.
Ridiculous.
It is. And you know what else is ridiculous?
What, Dan?
The shit millennials have been taking lately.
And you know why? Because it's the parents of these millennials, the same people complaining, are the same people who are letting their kids run to the end of the row.
That's true.
Little connection there.
Little connection.
So it all connects on the ScruffCast.
Yeah, that was good.
So millennials are taking shit, Dan.
Okay.
Tell us about it. I want to know.
Okay, so first off, I read an article of how millennials. Okay, so John, what is the millennial age guy? I think it's 1983. I'm putting you on the spot here. You got to search this up. I think it's 1983 or 1984 till 2000 or 1999. It's around that gap.
It's about 1983 to 2000. So if you're born 1983, you would be, I don't know, 25. I'm just throwing that number out there.
You would not even be close to 25.
Yeah, you would. Oh, no, you'd be 35.
Yeah.
35 is the max. Oh, these millennials, they're killing math. Anyways.
Yeah, so
if you're born
18 to 35 years old.
18 to 35.
Okay.
In case you haven't guessed, we're in that age range.
We are in that age. We're like kind of smack dab in the middle of it.
Yeah, we're these dirty millennials killing everything.
Yeah. So I read this article about how millennials are ditching credit cards and it's threatening the entire industry. Now, I'm not going to get into like reading the article on here, but good. I'm happy that we're killing the credit card industry. You know what I mean? Like, these credit card companies, these banks, the amount of money they make off of us, And they're all a bunch of crooks.
Oh,
They're all
yeah.
a bunch of scammers. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
The ridiculous interest rates the credit card companies charge you. You know what I mean? And, they pry on you when you're at your weakest. You know what I mean? Oh, man, I need a little money for this. I need a little money for that. I mean, there's some people who just go and spend money stupidly. That's their own fault. But, there's some people who use a credit card for emergency situations.
Oh, yeah.
And now, we're millennials, and we have credit cards. We use credit cards.
We're doing our part.
Yeah.
The industry can't
We're
blame
trying
us.
not to kill it. It's not us. But good. I'm glad they're ditching credit cards. But the point of this is, we decided to look up what else millennials are killing. And we found a pretty interesting list of all the stuff we're killing.
70 plus things we've been murdering on a daily basis that we didn't even know.
And this was just that one article.
There's just that one article.
I'm sure there's tons more stuff we're killing out there.
Man, we're racking up the murder charges on these things that we're killing. These industries that we're killing. Somebody could take that out of context.
We're not going to get into all 70.
No, we'll be here all day.
But
we missed a week, but you're not going to get a 50-hour podcast.
We got a funny... There's... I got this one right here. Millennials are killing wine corks. Wine corks.
Don't even worry about wine. Just the corks we're killing?
Oh, we're also killing the wine.
Oh, but we're killing both.
But we're killing the wine corks as well. The caps, the screw caps, we're not killing. The corks, we are, though. Which,
Dane, I've been killing wine corks. How? I didn't even know.
I know. The McWrap. I love the signature McWrap.
Dane, you're killing it. You don't love it enough.
But, John, you probably have the funniest one out of all these.
So, I read an article, and it was millennials ruined... Sit down for this. Knowing about cows.
Knowing about cows!
Like the animal, a cow. In case you're one of the millennials that didn't know about it.
That's important. You play with little, you got the little toy as a kid. You turn the little thing. Oh, cow goes moo. You know what I mean? You got that toy as a kid.
Well, now kids don't get that toy, Dan. They're on their iPad.
Well, they wouldn't be millennials.
They're not searching
millennials,
up. They're
we
not
all
searching up cows on their iPads.
Explain to them why we're killing. So we're not killing cows. That's not it. We're killing the knowing of cows.
According to The Telegraph, 1 in 8 young people have never seen a cow.
Which I believe is a British.
It is. So take this with a grain of British salt.
Which is the dirtiest of all the salts.
So apparently, 1 in 8 young people have never seen a cow in real life, according to a survey they did. I'm sure they surveyed
1 in 8
every
young people or 1 in 8 millennials?
young people, millennial. It's interchangeable. We're all the same to these old cronies.
This is the thing, because I feel like all the old people, the Generation Xers and the baby boomers, like, consider kids that are like 12 millennials, which, like, they're not. Those kids, like, that's like Generation Z or Y or something like that. Like
something beyond us.
Yeah.
We're
they're not millennials.
We're the old cronies to them. They're killing us.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So apparently more than half of the people they polled also didn't know things like that strawberries were a summer fruit. And listen to this. 9 in 10 did not know that turnips are best grown in winter. How are these kids surviving not knowing this vital information? Ridiculous.
Oh, my God. Yeah, the knowing of cows. There was...
That was the thing was that they may have seen them on TV, but 1 in 8 young people have never seen a cow in real life
Because they don't go out to farmlands.
Yeah.
Well, like...
If you're not going out killing the cows to eat the beef yourself, Dan, what do you do with your life?
Guess what? There's millennials living on farms.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they know what cows are.
It's just absurd. But we don't have time to learn about cows because we're too busy killing other industries, Dan.
Oh, the funny one was we're killing Generation X's retirement.
Oh,
Wasn't
yeah.
that-
We're killing their retirement.
Now, Generation X spans from 1965 to, I guess it'd be 1982.
Yeah, if it's the one right before millennials.
Yeah.
Yeah, 65 to, according to this, 84. What, there's an overlap? So you get the worst of both worlds? You're killing your own retirement fund if you're born in 83?
So the reason we're killing Generation X's retirement is because at their age, they have to look after their own parents, spend money to do that, but also look after their own kids and spend money on that. Well, guess what? That's every goddamn generation's going to do that at some point. The baby boomers had to do that at some point, too. And guess what? We'll have to do it as well.
It's called getting
we'll have to
older.
look after those old bastards and our own kids at the same time.
It's called getting older, but not as old.
And like,
right? Like, everybody's parents are older than them.
The millennials are killing everything. You know who's saying this? It's like all the baby boomers. You know? The baby boomers, maybe Generation X too, probably lump them into this too. You know? And guess what? You guys were the ones who raised the millennials. You raised us to be this way.
It's on you. It's not on us.
Like, what more do you want? Oh, the millennials, they're so coddled. They need to feel special. They need to let everybody know how special they are, and they need to be told how special they are.
Everybody gets a ribbon.
Where did we get that from? Think it just came out of our own asses? No, we learned it from you.
Dan, that's why millennials are so entitled. They're killing the marmalade industry. Did you know that?
Marmalade.
According to metro.co.uk. Millennials are responsible for the slow death of marmalade. According to new data, marmalade is being rejected by those under the age of 28.
You know what? They may be right. I don't think I've ever had marmalade in my life.
That's why the sales have been steadily falling since 2013.
Well, there you go. But, like, what bothers me is, like, like the baby boomers. The baby boomers, like, 1940-something to 63.
Whenever the start of Gen X.
So, like, those... the baby boomers now are, like... The start of them's, like, in their 70s.
Yeah.
70s, 60s, 50s. And guess what? Those are the people that have just ruined the world. They've just ruined... Like, they've ruined so many things in this world. You know what I mean? With pollution. Like, you name it.
Climate change.
And, like, the millennials are here. We gotta pick up the scraps and, like, put this shit back together. Because you guys screwed it all up.
But it's our fault.
Oh, but my God.
One that particularly...
We're killing the napkin industry here.
Well, and speaking of napkins, where you go to use napkins? At a restaurant. One thing that particularly irked me on this list was millennials were blamed for killing Buffalo Wild Wings.
Specifically that chain of restaurants.
Specifically that chain, because apparently casual dining is in danger. Sales slumps have caused dozens of restaurant closures, according to an article I'm reading on Business Insider here. And what makes me mad is Buffalo Wild Wings CEO writing in a letter to their shareholders. Casual dining restaurants face a uniquely challenging market today. That was in quotes. Now this next part's not in quotes here. And it's because of millennials. We're not going out to eat because we don't have credit cards. Maybe they're serving too much marmalade there. I don't know.
Ridiculous. I mean, I don't know. We live, well, you work in Toronto.
Yes.
And I live fairly close. So in around like bigger cities, there's lots of smaller restaurants to go to. Like little mom and pop restaurants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would way rather give my money to one of those than one of these massive chains. That, like, they're getting all this food for next to nothing and they're skyrocketing the price. You know what I mean? I'd rather give my money to a little mom and pop shop.
Yeah,
and I feel like there's a lot of millennials doing that same kind of stuff, right?
These big restaurant chains are killing themselves.
Yeah.
But we're to blame. They put out a crappy product. We don't like it. We're killing them, apparently.
Step your game up. That's what it's about. We're the information age. You know what I mean? We can Google anything we want. We can look up everything. If I want something, I can do so much research on it, and I can find what's best for me.
Oh, yeah, product reviews. Like, back in the day, you'd be driving through the town, you'd be like, Buffalo Wild Wings? Okay, the sign's yellow, looks kind of neat. And you go in, you'd be like, that sucked. Now I just search on Yelp, and people will be like, I was here, and Mike was a really rude waiter, and my wings sucked. And you'd be like, oh, damn, I'm not going there.
I don't want to run into Mike.
Now, speaking of Mike, millennials are killing baby names.
Yeah.
Step aside, Michael and Jessica. Millennials are naming their babies wackier things now. It's ridiculous. We're killing baby names?
Can't you name your kid whatever you want? You can name him Spider-Man if you want to. You know? Like,
I think that'd actually be pretty cool.
Well, maybe you think that, but
as a middle name.
I don't know. I don't think
Oh, yeah.
so.
Like John Smith. John Spider-Man Smith. I don't know. That's pretty cool.
That's a no from me. A no bueno over here.
Bueno. Dan, I don't know how I can go on. Just feeling this guilt for all these industries we're killing. How will the bar soap industry continue?
You know, that's true. That I use a body wash.
Maybe it's not that millennials are killing bar soap. Maybe it's that bar soap just stinks and they've come out with something better.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
I think that's the case for a lot of these things. Something better's come along. Oh, did millennials kill newspapers?
Probably.
Probably.
We probably did.
It's not on the list.
It's not on the list. It should be.
But this
Number
list
71.
also this list also isn't in a newspaper. I'm reading it on my phone. So
exactly.
who uses newspapers nowadays?
Yeah.
What's next? Millennials killed the 8-track. Guess what? They came out with newer, better stuff. We don't need that stuff.
That's the thing. Oh, they're killing all these industries. Well, usually when one industry dies, it's because something else comes out and becomes superior to kill that industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's stuff on this list like, oh, we're killing the oil industry. Good. We're sucking up oil from the ground, like taking all Earth's natural resources. You know what I mean? And then burning it and polluting the air. It's ridiculous. And I'm not like a tree hugger all about, gotta save the trees and don't burn oil, electricity. I'm not like that.
It's just you think,
But like, it
gotta
is
be
absolutely nuts. Like,
you just think like there's got to be a better way.
yeah.
Like one thing
and
Like one thing I've always found ridiculous is like, hundreds of thousands of years ago, right? Like before, humans were more civilized and stuff. You had like cavemen, right? I know I'm just totally going off of my own thoughts here. It's probably not scientifically accurate, so you know how to reach us, ScruffCast@gmail.com. We lived in caves, right? And then eventually, time passed, humans became more civilized, live in houses and stuff, and then nowadays you have like carpets in your house. And it's because it's like we built these houses, and it's like, oh, we want it to be nice and soft on our feet, so we manufactured carpet we place inside the house, and now it's like, oh, it's getting dusty in here. So we invented machines you take out of the closet, you plug in, and you move around to suck up the dust.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. Like if you had shown these people 100,000 years ago, like, what?
Why do you need that?
Yeah. What is this junk?
No, for sure. Everything changes over time. And I feel like all these generations that are complaining, they don't get it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I can't wait until like 50 years from now we get to talk about like how Gen XYZ killed the podcast industry. Back in my day.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the thing. We'll get old and we'll be complaining about someone too. That's just the way it goes, probably.
But guess what? We're starting the complaining now while we're young.
That's right. Complaining about the complainers.
Yes.
Go
That's what the ScruffCast's all about.
I want to go back to the oil thing for a second.
Yeah.
Take
it away.
I got this on my brain. I'm like stuck on this now. Like, yeah, we're killing the oil industry. Like I said, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That we even use oil. It's because like the world is just like we're we're being held down by the major oil companies and all these old bastards who own them, and they own the government. You know what I mean? It's something like 33% of Republican like seat holders in the Senate take a salary from an oil company every year, which is ridiculous.
What I find ridiculous is the fact that you can be like a member of Congress or like, you know, have a job like in the House or whatever, like as a politician in the United States. And this isn't just specifically the United States. I'm sure Canada is very similar.
Yeah.
And you can get money from corporations and like lobbyists and stuff like that. Like after there was that shooting in Florida a couple weeks ago, people were complaining about like politicians who received money, like campaign contributions, in quotes, if you will, from like the NRA and stuff like that. And it's like, it just seems bizarre to me that you can have big corporations like paying people or giving them donations to help fund their campaign, and then they get put into office. And then it's like, oh, well, remember when I gave you that money? That bill you passed wouldn't really be in my favor, so don't forget about that money I gave you.
I get it as a business move. It's a smart business move.
Oh, for sure.
For these companies, right?
Like, without a doubt, right? Like,
it's like ridiculous.
If
like
the ScruffCast had enough money, we'd be popping some, contributions out there, too.
Oh, I take money from the NRA. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah, like, if it was flipped, too, yeah. Like,
you better believe it.
You hey, big oil, you out there, like... We'll come back next week, talk about how great it is.
We'd be posting videos on YouTube of us shooting guns. Like, we'll do whatever it takes for that money. So I get it. Don't get me wrong. But it's insane that, like, in politics, like, people that are going to be running these countries, that it's, like, so biased. Like, their viewpoints are going to be so biased because of the money that's getting slipped into their back pocket. From like every which way.
Because these companies hold so much power, right? Mm-hmm. Because they have so much money to help fund the campaigns of whoever they want. But I think one of the things is the reason that these companies have so much power and that like political ads are like so influential is because people don't want to bother to learn anything for themselves. Not like I'm coming at this as like some sort of, like, I know everything for myself, so you regular.
But like you said, we're part of that, though.
Right? Yeah,
especially politics. I don't want to learn about politics.
But people don't want to bother doing research, so you see, like, Justin Trudeau. He's just not old enough, or whatever. What was it? He's just too young or something.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, yeah, maybe he is.
Yeah, maybe he is too young. I don't know.
The other guy was older. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe older's better. I don't know. Apparently not. Well, apparently when it comes to the industries, because millennials are killing them all. But, yeah, people don't want to do research or learn anything, so you go based off of what you see, right? Especially like in the media, like that's why like so many things get twisted out of proportion, which is like fueled how many stories we've talked about just on this very podcast, right?
It's gonna fuel the next story too.
It'll fuel the next one, but we're not quite there yet.
Okay.
But how could you run for office, land the job, and then not be influenced by the people who've contributed to your campaign, right?
Yeah, you can't just kick them to the dust all of a sudden.
Yeah, oh, thanks for your funding. Oh, by the way, big oil.
Yeah, see ya. Yeah. Banning all...
Wouldn't want to be.
Yeah, banning all oil-burning cars, Going straight electric. Never going to happen.
And then big electric. That's even
yeah, I know, right? Elon Musk paying these politicians off.
Yeah. He's got money, but he doesn't have that much.
He doesn't have oil money.
No, he doesn't have oil money.
No.
It's ridiculous. And it's actually these... big automotive and big oil companies that were trying to lobby to make it illegal for Tesla to sell their cars. Because, well, not just to sell the cars, but because they don't use dealerships, they would sell directly to the customer.
Right.
Cutting out these auto dealers, right? Like the middleman. So, what Tesla actually does now is they have stores, like similar to an Apple store, right? You really just go in. You can't actually buy the car at the store, right? Because... then it would be illegal for Tesla to directly sell you the car like that because these companies were lobbying against it.
Which is stupid. I don't
so what you do, you're at the store, but you're buying it online. You're not buying it directly at the store, right, to try and like skirt around this. And it's like on a state level. Like I think one of the states, now I'm just going on a limb here, so I don't know. But I believe one of the states was New Jersey, where they were doing this. And I believe Texas as well. Not very surprising because... I'm sure the oil companies have a lot of influence there. And it's like, it's so corrupt.
Yeah.
What, they're making a product, they're trying to sell it, and you're like, damn, these guys are doing it better than us. Let's put the kibosh on that.
Yeah, you got to feel pretty good if you're Elon Musk, right? Because if they're all trying to stop you, you know you're doing something right.
Yeah.
You know, putting out these electric cars. Efficient electric cars, too, right? That's the thing.
The first company that's like, they only do electric cars, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's some other weird ones out there, like, I think, like Faraday Motors or something like that as well.
I don't know.
And you don't even know. And I believe Tesla's the only one that's actually, like, been successful in, producing an electric car and selling it, like, to the people.
Yeah.
As far as a company that doesn't also make, like, other types of cars, like, Nissan, all these other companies also make electric cars or hybrids, but Tesla's just, like, all electric.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is nuts. Okay, well.
Speaking of things that are crazy.
Yeah, we're moving on. John? Cultural appropriation.
The tough topics, we tackle them.
I think I'm saying that right.
And we're back for another.
John, explain what it is. If people don't know, which I'm sure they do, but just in case they don't.
So cultural appropriation is basically when you take someone else's culture and you're like using it for yourself. You're appropriating it. I'll search up a definition to tell you, what the dictionary defines it as.
Okay, go ahead.
But think of like taking, or here's a perfect example. The Cleveland Indians recently had to change their logo. Right, get rid of the. I can't remember what the guy's name was.
Chief Wahoo.
Chief Wahoo.
Yeah.
Okay. Wahoo. It was like a smiling, red-faced, like Aboriginal person, right? Like a caricature of one, if you will.
Yeah.
Now, maybe you find it offensive, right? But that's been their logo for I don't even know how long.
However long they've been a team for.
A long time. And, that's cultural appropriation. They're taking that culture and they're appropriating it. So it's like taking someone else's culture and kind of like, I don't know, misusing it or something, if that's even possible.
No, I think it's just using it for your own, if you're not part of that culture.
Yeah, so cultural appropriation, often framed as cultural misappropriation, is a concept in sociology dealing with the adoption of elements of a minority culture by members of the dominant culture.
Okay, so white people can't be appropriated.
According to this definition.
A white culture. No, but... Okay, we're both white.
We are.
Background is Portuguese.
Yes.
And also a little bit Irish for me.
Yes.
Like, doesn't everything work out to be like a minority culture? You know what I mean? Like, what if, we're here, we're white, but our culture, let's say, is Portuguese. So what if, the Asian guy down the street starts running some Portuguese festivals? You know what I mean?
Whoa. Hands off my culture. Am I going to be offended? Are you going to be offended?
Yeah. I feel like we're getting a little off track here.
We are.
The reason why we brought this up is because Bruno Mars was getting slammed over the weekend, I think it was, because he is I don't even know how to phrase this, culturally appropriating?
I believe he was, and this is in quotes here, it was like a Twitter trending moment. And that was all in air quotes for you guys. He was culturally appropriating black music was the term they used. This is not my term, okay? Because he's not black. So he can't be appropriating his black music. Now, first off, the thing that stands out to me is, how long has he been making music?
Like, he's been going for a good 10 years? 10 years, let's
He did
say?
the Super Bowl halftime show. People weren't complaining then.
So why are you waiting until now to freak out about it? That's first off. Second off, I don't understand what the issue is with cultural appropriation, and maybe I'm way off here, but don't you want, you know what I mean? If you're a part of a culture, don't you want other people like joining in and like enjoying your culture as well? Like, oh wow, your culture's great. I want to be a part of it. I want to get in on it. I'd be like, yeah, come on, let's go. Hop on the train.
Yeah, if you want it to just be like some sort of exclusive club. Oh, I'm sorry. You're not part of my culture. You're not allowed.
Yeah.
Like, Dan, have you ever eaten a sandwich?
Sure have.
Listeners, have you ever eaten a sandwich? Guess what? You're appropriating 18th century European culture. They invented the sandwich.
Yeah.
How dare you eat that sandwich? Like, if you weren't allowed to take from other cultures, nobody outside of Europe would have eaten sandwiches.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody outside of Greece would have eaten Greek food. Right? Nobody outside of like the Caribbean would be listening to reggae music. I'm assuming that's where it predominantly came from. I don't know. But who knows? If you know better than us, let us know at ScruffCast. Now,
You think you're going to go down to Taco Bell, get yourself a quesadilla and some fries supreme? No way, man. That's staying in Mexico.
no bueno. We're appropriating with our catchphrase, Dan.
Well, we are, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Too bad.
Yeah.
We're taking it, and we're loving it.
I just don't like, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe somebody can email in and tell me how wrong I am, but I don't see cultural appropriation as a bad thing. I think
I agree.
It's inclusive. It's a good thing to bring people together. Like, okay, yeah, go ahead.
I feel like cultural appropriation is like a byproduct of like immigration. People leaving the country that they're from and traveling and living in other countries, right? Because if everybody just stayed in their own country, right? Like Portuguese people only lived in Portugal, right? Swedish people only lived in Sweden. Nobody traveled around the world and immigrated to other countries. Everybody would just be like so segregated, and then all these cultures would be trapped on their own, right?
Yeah. And we wouldn't know anything about each other.
You wouldn't know anything, right? Like, you can go to the mall and eat like Jimmy the Greek, right? Which is like a fast food Greek food chain. That wouldn't exist if there was no cultural appropriation.
Yeah. Szechuan Express,
Yeah, eating this Szechuan food. Jesus Christ, I stuttered quite a bit there.
Szechuan.
Eating this Szechuan food, right? Without cultural appropriation, like I feel like the world would be a little more boring.
Yeah.
You can take anything from anybody, and like I said, like sandwiches. They weren't invented here. Wait, you're not gonna eat sandwiches? Ridiculous. Or like music or media, right? Like imagine living in Canada and you could only consume Canadian entertainment.
Oh
boy.
Imagine watching CBC shows. Imagine having to watch Murdoch Mysteries every night. Oh my God.
That says it all right there. That shows you just how bad it is.
I don't get why it's a bad thing. It seems like a pretty if someone wants to be part of our Canadian culture, an American comes up here and says, "I want to be part of Canadian culture." Like, I don't really know what Canadian culture is, but yeah, come on, sure. What do you want? What do you want to do?
The more, the merrier.
Yeah.
And if somebody
Want to listen to Bryan Adams? Go for it.
If somebody wants to like appropriate your culture, right? It's almost like a sign of like flattery. It's like like respect. That wow, this culture's got something going for it. This is interesting.
Hey, John, you want to get dreadlocks?
Yeah.
Well, you can't, because that's cultural appropriation.
What?
You can't even get hairstyles,
So if I want to grow an afro, I'm not allowed.
Yeah. Soon it's going to be like, oh, that girl's booty's too big, you know what I mean? Cultural appropriating some Caribbean girls, that's for sure. Like, it's going to get to that point soon.
You shake your hips a little too seductively. No.
No.
You're from Japan. You're not allowed.
You stick to the two-step. That's it.
Like, it is absurd.
Can't eat sushi anymore? Oh, no way, man. Come on.
I don't want to live in that world.
No.
But the thing I found interesting is, like, what's wrong with specifically, like, appropriating another person's culture for, like, music? They're saying, like, hey, I think this is, a good type of music. This is a style I want to go for. I'm going to make music in this genre, in this style.
Bruno Mars isn't coming out and saying, I created R&B music.
Yeah.
He's not saying that, So what's the issue? Like,
yeah, like, Dan, did you know Eminem has been rapping for, I don't know what, like 25 years now?
Yeah.
Has he been appropriating culture this whole time?
This whole time.
Lock him up.
Nobody said anything about him because he's good. Well, I think Bruno Mars is pretty good,
Yeah,
too.
he did the Super Bowl halftime show.
I don't know. Like we said, if we're wrong, somebody give us some facts. Somebody give us some evidence to show that we're wrong. Please.
We're never adverse to you contacting us and letting us know that we're wrong.
There's a good chance we're wrong about a lot of things.
We tackle the tough topics, not always gracefully, not always correctly.
But we tackle them.
Somebody's got to tackle them, and we do.
Yeah. Well, I think we're wrapping this thing up here.
I think so.
We gave you guys like 45 hard-hitting minutes there. I thought it was pretty good.
It was worth the wait.
You know what? Should be the thing we do at the end of the show is we compliment ourselves.
I think
like
so.
it.
I believe a couple episodes ago we spent the last 5 minutes talking about how our episode was not that good. So it's nice for a change. Let's talk about how great we are.
Yeah.
This is quality content.
This one was good. I think
And if you're still listening, you've hung with us this long.
that's
then
right.
You're obviously a big fan.
And if you want to follow further, follow us on Twitter at ScruffCast. Follow us on Instagram at where, John?
At the ScruffCast.
Because some bum took ScruffCast.
Some guys already got ScruffCast. If you're listening on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. I stay up late every Monday night rendering out that video for you guys. Give me a thumbs up. Give us a comment. Please tell us, hey, I agree with you guys. Hey, I disagree with you guys. But tell us why. Don't just be like, you guys suck.
Yeah.
Tell us why we suck.
Tell us why we suck.
If you're listening on iTunes or the Apple Podcasts app, give us a 5-star review. Maybe take the time to actually type out, wow, best podcast ever. LOL, so funny. Ha 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 ha.
Love the ScruffCast.
Love the ScruffCast. Just any sort of compliments or praise you can heap on us. Heap away. Because millennials are killing the podcast review industry, and we need your help.
And us as millennials need to be told how great of a job we're doing. So please tell us how great of a job we're doing.
Yeah, we know our demographic. We've got a lot of millennials out there listening.
That's right. So anyway, wrap things up. We may have something at the end here. So keep listening. There might be a little something at the end. So keep listening. And anyway, we will catch you next week.
I can tell you're really good at distracting. Got me like, oh, as I'm watching her go all out. Thinking this, oh, damn, that bad thing. I can tell you're really good at distracting.
What's going on? This is a secret intro to episode 12. Dan's going to get slippers because his toes are cold like a little bitch. I grabbed a blanket because I'm comfy. He's coming back. Oh, he's back!